Hello students, in our last video we have discussed the dihybrid cross. Today we are going to discuss the topic Mendel's laws of inheritance. So based on his experiment on pea plant, Mendel observed some characters and finally he concluded that there are some laws, and these laws are known as the Mendel's laws of inheritance. So the first law of Mendel, that is the law of dominance. Then the second law, that is the law of the segregation, and the law of independent assortment. So firstly we will discuss the law of dominance. So now what is the meaning of dominance? Dominance means if any character, suppose I am saying I have to do this thing, and the second person he is saying he also want to do that thing, but I am saying I will do this thing, so I am dominant over him. So like that, the law of dominance, there are the 3 points. These 3 points are given in your NCERT, that the characters are controlled by discrete units, and these discrete units are known as factor. At the time of Mendel, he don't know that what is the gene. He called the gene as the factor, that there is something which is responsible for the transmission of the characters, and these are known as the factor. So he called the gene factor. After Mendel, one scientist in 1909, Wilhelm Johnson, he named the factor as the gene. Next is these factors occur in pairs. So these genes occur in pair. So you have done the term, the genotype and the phenotype, the genes and the alleles. So what is the gene and what is the allele? So these occur in pair, means the gene that occur in pair. Suppose I am writing the gene for the tall height, that is capital T, capital T. This is the homozygous. I am also writing capital T, small t, and also that the small t and small t. So all these are the genes, and separately we can call them the alleles. So these occur in pairs. Next, the third point is that if there is the homozygous condition or the heterozygous condition, in case of heterozygous condition like capital T and small t, this capital T that is dominant over small t, means there is no medium height is there, only the height is tall, because this capital T is dominant over small t and the height is tall. So this is known as the law of dominance. And the monohybrid cross, we have done the monohybrid cross. So monohybrid cross, that is the best example to show the law of dominance. So with the help of one example you can conclude the law of dominance. So what is law of dominance? That the characters or the traits are controlled by discrete units named as factor. Mendel called the gene as the factor, but the one scientist, that is Wilhelm Johnson, in 1909, he called it the gene. Then these occur in pairs, but during the gamete formation they segregate, and if they are in the heterozygous form, so one is dominant over the other, and this is known as the law of dominance. So I can take the example of a monohybrid cross. Suppose one plant having the tall height, second the dwarf plant, the dwarf height is there. Then what you have to write here, this is the genotype, this is the genotype for the dwarf plant, genotype for the tall plant. So here you will write the gamete. So gamete one, they will separate, so both are the same, so there is the no need to write 2t here. So here also both are the same, so I am writing only small t. And what will be there in F1 generation? There is the combination of the capital T and the small t. So the capital T, small t. and all the plants are tall in F1 generation. All plants are tall in F1 generation. So what I can conclude from here that this capital T is dominant over small t, and in the F1 generation all the plants are tall. So this is known as the law of dominance. After that, the law of segregation. It is known as the second law of Mendel. And what is the meaning of segregation? Segregation means to separate. And what is the meaning of this law? This law states that there is the no blending of the genes. Why? If I am writing here capital T, small t, so we can say that capital T is also here, small t is also here. So the plant height should be medium. But that is not there. Here the plant height is tall. So there is the no blending of the genes. Why there is the no blending of the genes? Because during gamete formation, these factors separate and each the gamete get the separate allele for that. So what is the law of segregation? We can say the law of segregation states that there are the two factors for each character, and during gamete formation they separate, and again in the next generation they join. And this is also known as the law of purity of gametes. Means the gametes are pure here. Why these are pure here? Because during the gamete formation, the one gamete have only one allele. So this is also known as law of purity of gametes. Suppose tall plant is here and the dwarf plant. So when the gamete is formed, both are separated. Here also during the gamete formation, both are separated. And in F1 generation, these gametes, so these gametes are pure here. There is the no blending, and they combine. And what is formed here? The plant, and that plant is tall. Means there is the no blending. So this is known as the law of segregation. So both these laws, the law of dominance and the law of segregation, that was given on the basis of monohybrid cross. Means Mendel, with the help of monohybrid cross, proved these two laws, the law of dominance and the law of segregation. But for the law of independent assortment, we have to do the, means take the conclusion from dihybrid cross. And what is dihybrid cross? In dihybrid cross, we have to take two characters at a single time. What we have to take? We have to take two characters at a single time. So what is the law of independent assortment? This law states that the factors, that these factors are independent of each other. We can take the example of dihybrid cross to understand this law. So what is dihybrid cross? We have to take the two character here, and what we can take? Suppose the shape of the seed and the color of the seed. So shape of the seed, that is the round, and color is the yellow. And in the second case, shape of the seed, that is, you can say the wrinkled, and that small y is here wrinkled green. So this is the genotype of a plant, and we have taken two characters here, so it is known as dihybrid cross. So this is the genotype. You can write here the parent, and this is the genotype. Here you can write father, mother, and that is the genotype. Then the phenotype also here. And what is the phenotype? That is round and yellow. And that is wrinkled and green. Now firstly we have to make the gametes. So here you will write the gametes, and there are the two combination, capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, because both the gametes are same. So there is the no you can say there is the no reason, or you can say no need to take more gametes here. So small r, small y, small r, small y. And what is there in F1 generation? In F1 generation, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. Means what is the phenotype? The phenotype is round and yellow. So this round, you can say, or this allele is dominant over small r, and this allele is dominant over small y. So that the round and yellow. Now in F2 generation, for F2 generation, what we have to take? Firstly, we have to take the parent, and these parent are the same, capital R, because we have to do the selfing here. Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. And again we have to make the gametes. So now during the gamete formation, what happened? This capital R can come with capital Y also, and this capital R can come with small y also. Means they are independently. This capital R, it can come with capital Y, it can come with small y. So this is known as the law of independent assortment. When we finally get the conclusion, or when we get the ratio in F2 generation, so what will be the ratio in F2 generation? That is 9:3:3:1. Means there are the 9 are the round and yellow, 9 are the round and green, then 3 are the round and green, then 3 are the wrinkled yellow, and 1 is the only the wrinkled green. So there is the possibility, means the any of the allele, it can come with the any other allele. So for how we can make the gamete? That capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, and the small r, small y. Again in this also, capital R, capital Y, then capital R, small y, then small r, capital Y, and the small r, small y. And in F2 generation, when we do the Punnett square, so we will get that 9 are the round and yellow. How many? 9. Okay, so that you can say round and green, round and green, these are the 3. And the wrinkled yellow, these are also the 3, but the wrinkled green, that is the only 1. And how we got this ratio? We got this ratio after doing the square of the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. So what was the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross? That was 3:1. And when we do the square of this, then we will get the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation of dihybrid cross. So that is known as the law of independent assortment. And to conclude, or you can say to prove this law, there is the need of the dihybrid cross, because only 2 characters are taken during the dihybrid cross. So what we have discussed up to now, we have discussed the law of dominance, then law of segregation, and then the law of independent assortment. So what is the law of dominance? That there are the 2 factors. How many? There are the 2 factors for one character, and the factors that was called by Mendel, but the other scientist is there, Wilhelm Johnson, he called the factor as the gene. Then these factors occur in the pair, and out of that pair, one is the dominant and one is the recessive. So the capital letter, that is the dominant, and it is expressed only in F1 generation, because in F1 generation all the plants are tall, or any character we can take. So only the dominant character is expressed in F1 generation. But in F2 generation, the recessive character is also expressed. So what was the ratio in F2 generation in monohybrid cross? The phenotypic ratio, that was 3:1, and the genotypic ratio, that was 1:2:1, because it was like that: capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, and small t, small t. So phenotypically, these all 3 are the tall. Why? Because this capital T is dominant over small t. So here you can understand the law of dominance, and one, that is the pure dwarf. So that is the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. And what is the genotypic ratio? Genotypically means the genes. That gene is different. These 2 genes are similar, and these, you can say, 2 alleles, these are also the similar. So I can write here, one is the pure tall, one is pure tall, 2 are the hybrid tall, and 1 is the dwarf. So the ratio, genotypic ratio, is 1:2:1. So that was about the, you can say, the law of dominance. Then the law of segregation means that these factors occur in pair, but during the gamete formation they separate and combine again in the next generation, and these factors don't mix. There is no blending of these factors. They express them separately, but there is the combination of dominance and recessive. After that, the law of independent assortment, that there is the possibility these factors can come with any one of their combination, means their combination may be different. So that was discussed in dihybrid cross, that in dihybrid cross the phenotypic ratio in the F2 generation, that was so that there was the different combinations are there. So that was about the, you can say, the law of independent assortment. So these were the 3 laws given by Mendel based on his observation on pea plant, because in pea plant there were the 7 characters, 7 contrasting characters, and if we take any character, then the conclusion will remain same for all the characters. So Mendel, he concluded it, and he gave all these law. So that's all for today. We will meet in our next video. Thank you.